Hello to Ian, Kieran and my mum, who are probably going to be the only people who actually watch this video. But I don't care that much because it's been an absolute blast making it. So, long story short, I've been playing a game called Forza Motorsport 7, which I've enjoyed a lot, and discovered the Falcon Motorsport livery, which I've applied here to a Porsche 911 GT3R, so that it resembles closely the car that a professional race driver, a friend of mine, drives, which is the very same Falcon Motorsport Porsche. Which got me thinking, could I set a lap time around the Nurburgring full circuit, so that's the GP circuit plus the Nordschleife section, quicker than he can in his professional race car? Could I do it virtually quicker than he could? So he sent me a link. He happened to send me a link to a drive that he did in soaking wet conditions, but you'll see that in a minute or two. All the driver aids turned off on my virtual version, so there's no ABS on either car, there's no traction control or electronic stability management on either car. Had to learn a great deal. I did not get it right first time, and you'll see in a minute or two there are some moments, particularly in my video, where there'd definitely be some brown trouser incidents. Thankfully, on a computer game it's not quite so bad, but yeah, some interesting moments for me in particular, but a really fun comparison to do, and yeah, I'm going to show you what they look like. So as we join the video here, this is Pete coming through the final section of the lap into a rolling start onto the home straight. Gets a little bit excited, bless him, and then it's toe down over the line. Race starts and he's passed 1, 2, 3 cars, immediately coming down towards a very tight turn 1. This is where my video joins, as well as I'm past a handful of cars down towards the hairpin at T1. So I get stuck behind the Jag. I get pushed wide on T2, taking avoiding action, get pushed out very wide. Pete holds it tight through T2, and we both accelerate towards the left-hander at 3. Both of us side by side with cars, so both taking a wide line through T3 as we go down the hill into the tight right-hander, and then accelerate down the hill towards the hairpin. I told myself I wasn't going to be a race commentator for this. I was just going to point out the important bits, but I'm definitely turning into a race commentator. I avoid the apex on mine, so there's massive puddles there that kept pulling me off tracks. But we both accelerate pretty much at the same time up towards the Schumacher S's 5 and 6. Pete's off the gas quite early here, and I start to pull a gap because I'm on the power a lot more than he is through that section towards the left-hander at 7. So you can see I'm going through the left-hander as Pete's slowing for it. As he goes through there, I'm onto the right-hander onto the back straight, and I'm away down the back straight, toe down, as Pete's coming through here. And as Pete comes onto that back straight, gets his foot on the gas, I nearly kill a Bentley. I don't know why he just stopped at that kink, but he did. I'm going to pause mine there as I approach the chicane at the top of the hill and let Pete catch up. So you can see the difference between the two. So he goes through here, single file, lets this Porsche in. I go through side by side with the Jag, get my nose in front, and I'm up behind the Merc. Let's cut left here, away from the GP circuit, onto the narrow, treacherous roads. And you'll see the difference between me virtually and Pete in real life as he nips down the right hand side of this Porsche here. He's basically on the grass there. Quite how he pulls that off, I will never know. I did not overtake a single thing on this section of the track. It's so narrow, it's so treacherous, there's standing water everywhere. Yeah, very, very difficult to hold your speed on, but somehow Pete's passing cars on it, so yeah, go figure. So this first twisty section Pete far smoother than I am. My car's moving about all over the place on the standing water. And Pete again with an overtake on the R8 there. Just look at the conditions. That's horrific. You barely see 10 meters in front of the car and he's on the gas. Yeah, we cut to my car as I have a brown trouser moment there. Just getting pulled off the track by a bit of standing water and getting all kinds of sideways. Just about managed to hang on to it and stay behind the Merc through the section that Pete's just coming through here. So at this point I'm a little bit in front. You can pretty much see me go through a corner at the bottom right there and then have a look up and see Pete do the same corner. I get a little way ahead. I'd definitely say Pete's stuck behind cars in traffic here. So as I approach this tricky left-hander where it just tightens and tightens and tightens, I'm going to pause and let Pete catch up again. Down through the gears, into a left, little right, and then left, 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 left. Tightens and tightens and tightens, and I bet many people have fallen onto the grass at that section. It's brutal, very difficult to drive, but Pete's back on the gas, full chat. And again, coming off the gas quite a bit, letting the car coast, which, you know, compared to the in-game experience, you're either on the accelerator or braking. There's very little coasting involved on the virtual version. Obviously Pete keeping much closer control of the car and actually being held up, it looks like. The Porsche in front of this BMW, I think, is the main culprit. The virtual version of the game not kicking up the spray, obviously, that the real life cars are, so visibility much better as I follow the Mercedes through this section over the bridge, and then eyes up to Pete as he takes the same left-hander over the bridge and away. I have an absolute moment of oversteer there with some standing water. Pete through the same left-hander, no such problem. And this Porsche definitely holding him up now. So for the third time, Pete's looking to overtake a car on a piece of track that's barely 2 cars wide. Here he goes, straight through. Outrageous. And that real life Porsche does not like going slowly. It's shuddering at low speeds. He's away through the fast section. Left-handers. So Pete picking his way through traffic. You can see on my screen I've lost that Mercedes. I'm not close to it anymore. So yeah, Pete definitely being held up on his lap and me struggling to stay on. So just catch up with the Merc actually coming into this section. Just see the standing water on the virtual version as I go a tiny bit wide there. I'm just going to pause it as I get to the carousel section and watch what Pete does here. This is outrageous. So again, the BMW being held up by a Porsche with Pete's Porsche just behind it. As he comes into the carousel section, check this out. He follows the Porsche. Listen to the bumps there, an awful piece of track. As I follow the Merc through, he follows the Beamer through. We both accelerate out. A really fast series of corners out of there. Pete got fractionally ahead for a second there. We're pretty much nip and tuck through this section as I have a huge sideways moment again there, just on the power too early. Bit of standing water and the car's facing the wrong direction and I lose that Mercedes again. It was definitely a feature of this track, the standing water just pulling the car off course. You have to be very gentle with the throttle. I look to hunt down that Mercedes and continue my lap. These sections where it just drops down and lifts up, lots of standing water in there, but the real life car doesn't seem to have any trouble with it. Pete definitely getting slowed down by these cars in front here. A very early change for him there. Another oversteer moment for me. Just cannot keep the car facing the right direction. But I'm still on the power. Chasing that Merc down. Yeah, pretty much nip and tuck for both of us through this section again. I've caught the Merc in front of me. Outrageous overtake. I don't think that door was fully open, but mini carousel. Both cars go past. Pete definitely taking advantage of the car in front taking that space. Alright, I am now onto the main straight. Managed to slipstream my way past the Merc. And Pete is now on the same main straight. And you can just hear, in these conditions, I can't see anything through his windscreen there, but he is fully pinned. Yeah, definitely got a pair. And as I come under the bridge, I can tell you I am flat out round that left-hand kink. So I'll pause there and let Pete catch up. As you can hear, he has to lift. Even drops a gear there to get around that left-hand kink. So we come into the last section. So a little left there, a little right. Then the left-hander onto the brakes, down through the gears, tight right-hander. Both take it. Pete probably a little better than me. I get the left-hand apex and we're both away, finishing the lap. Brilliant, brilliant fun. Thoroughly enjoyed setting that lap time, but yeah, I did a 9:47 and I timed Pete from the apex of T1 back to the apex of T1 as an 11:03. So yeah, a win for the virtual Porsche, but brilliant fun to record and definitely something that I'm going to keep an eye out for more onboard footage from my mate Pete, and yeah, see if I can take him around some other tracks.